Welcome to my search strategy presentation. First off, I developed a PICO table. To do this, I considered the key factors of the clinical scenario. I've highlighted those key factors here. Then I extracted these key factors. You may notice that there is a number at the top right-hand corner of this slide, and this is in reference to the 5 steps of the evidence-based practice process. So I then extracted the key info from the clinical scenario, and here is the table I've developed from the key info. Each element from the clinical scenario is highlighted. So the population is elderly persons with Parkinson's disease. The intervention is therapy to improve the clarity of his speech. There is nothing in the comparison, and the outcome is to improve the clarity of his speech. The question that I made is, in elderly adults with Parkinson's disease, is speech therapy for intelligibility effective for improving the clarity of speech? Here is a table with the search terms that I'll be using in my search strategy. I haven't included a comparison therapy, as you'll see it's blank here, as I want to include all kinds of comparison therapies, including no treatment and placebo. And that's why I have a note down here. This slide is in reference to the Boolean operators I'll be using in my searches. To combine elements of the PICO table, the Boolean operator AND is used to ensure that at least one term from each of the PICO elements is used. So that's across here. For synonyms in the search strategy, under each element of the PICO table, whether it be population, intervention, or outcome in this case, we use the Boolean operator AND. So Parkinson's disease, or Parkinson's disease, or Parkinson's. Truncations. This slide highlights the truncations to maximize my relevant search terms in the keyword search. For example, I've entered speech intelligible truncation, as seen here, to ensure that terms such as speech intelligible and speech intelligibility are included in the search. So this is just a quick note on wildcards. The search enhancer is used when there may be a different spelling for a term. As I found no alternate spellings on my preliminary searches when I was developing the search term table for any of these search terms, I have used no wildcards in my strategy. So, meet our players. The databases I'll be using for my search are Medline, Cinal, and SpeechBite. First, I'll show you my search strategy on Medline. I began the search looking for subject headings in the population element of the PICO table. The search gave me only one relevant subject heading, so I included all subheadings and exploded. This ensures that records that list Parkinson's disease are retrieved. As you can see, the database suggested that Parkinson's disease and also Parkinson's, which you can't see, be used in a keyword search, which is what we're about to perform next. So for keyword searching, we type all of the keywords and link them by the Boolean operator OR. Parkinson's disease, or Parkinson's disease. And it comes like this, up like this. Now we want to combine the keyword and subject heading search with the Boolean operator OR to ensure all synonym terms for our population are included in the search. We use the same process for intervention and for our outcome. Subject headings and our keyword search, and then combine our subject headings and keyword search as the one concept outcome. So this is just referring back to the PICO table, just as a reminder. The last step before limiting a search is to combine all the elements of PICO. So we can see all the elements here: population, intervention, outcome. We're going to combine all of them with the Boolean operator AND, which is selected from here. So the population concept, the intervention concept, and the outcome concept. Now we want to limit our search. We're going to select studies that include only humans, that are conducted in the English language, and have an all-adult age group. I then identified the relevant articles, and with the use of EndNote I was able to search through the abstracts and the articles to identify which study design each study was. I used this article to help me. I hence put all of the relevant Medline articles in a table to be compared with the results from the other databases. To determine what study designs were for each of these articles, I used this article. So our second database is CINAHL. We use the same principles in this database. For subject heading searching, we tick the box that says suggest subject terms. Then we explode if is possible. The keywords are just typed into the search engine with no need to tick the box that says suggest subject terms. We then combine the subject heading and the keyword search with the Boolean operator OR. So it's all the one concept. Do the same for intervention and the same for outcome. The last step before limiting a search is combining all the elements of PICO. Again, this is done by the Boolean operator AND. So population and intervention and outcome. Then we want to limit our search. We want to edit the results from the search. And this will come up. So for this, I limited the search by only using English language studies, excluding Medline records because we'd already searched using Medline, and only studies on humans. Came up with these articles. I went through and determined what kind of study design each article was and put them in a table. For example, with a randomized control trial, I looked for buzzwords such as randomization or control, and I looked for prospective studies. Our third database is SpeechBite. I've used 3 of the drop-down boxes to eliminate irrelevant articles. So for speech pathology practice area, I've selected the heading speech and the subheading articulation. This is in reference to the outcome part of the PICO question. So this is here. Likewise, for the intervention, I selected speech articulation phonological therapy. This is in reference to the intervention part of the PICO question. And for the population, I've selected degenerative disorders, as I know from my preliminary research that Parkinson's disease falls under this category. I've also selected that the age group be adults, and this also refers to the population. This database gave me 8 articles. 4 of these articles I was able to eliminate due to their irrelevancy. So they were relevant because they might have had the wrong intervention, such as a pharmacological intervention, or they might have been in relation to other degenerative diseases, such as Huntington's, rather than Parkinson's disease. As the research design is already stated, I didn't have to go through and do the same table process as I did for the other databases. To view the abstract for each article, I followed these steps. I ticked this little box here and clicked on the Show Selected Articles. Here is the 5 highest ranked relevant studies. I've put this article at the top because it appeared to most closely resemble the PICO question. Systematic reviews are ranked as the highest level of evidence according to the NHMRC hierarchy. And randomized controls, systematic reviews of randomized controls, are the highest level of evidence according to the NHMRC hierarchy, and randomized controls are the second highest. So I have my 4 systematic reviews of RCTs here, and then an RCT which is ranked second to these. Here is the and these are the databases I used for each of these articles. Here is the NHMRC hierarchy that I was referring to. Systematic reviews at the top, randomized control trials second for intervention questions. And these are some of the references I used. This was what I used for identifying study designs, and this was the NHMRC hierarchy that I just showed you. Thank you for watching.